Hello, all my quarantinites, fellow quarantiners. It is another day in the life of self-isolation. In case you didn't see it, we're gonna be here a little while longer. I feel like I left out Disney Plus on the most recent list. Here is a list of things on Disney Plus that, in my opinion, are not really lauded as popular or talked about as much as most other titles on there. Here are some suggestions, a few TV shows, mostly movies, of some Disney Plus content that, in my opinion, you should check out because I don't think it gets enough credit. Okay, we're starting off the top with the DuckTales movie. Pretty much, you can't find anybody that doesn't really know about the DuckTales TV show. I mean, it came out when I was a kid. It was incredible. Loved the DuckTales TV show. Scrooge McDuck is, in my opinion, one of the greatest television characters in history. But I don't think enough people know about the movie. The movie was just as good as the show. It was a movie of that's how it is. Like when a TV show becomes a movie, it's on a grander scale. The production quality goes up. DuckTales, the movie, in my opinion, is everything you love about the show, just amped up to 15. So definitely check out the DuckTales movie. An extremely goofy movie. My favorite Disney movie of all time is the Goofy movie, the original, the one before this one. I love the Goofy movie, and everybody I know and who's seen it loves it just as much. Incredible music, incredible gags. Goofy's an incredible character. I think that the sequel was not as great, but it was another fun adventure all the same. We follow Max when he goes to college, and through some insane circumstance, Goofy becomes his college classmate. And it's another touch. The original Goofy movie, to me, is really touching. It's a great father-son story. That's one of the reasons why it's my favorite. And it continues that, in my opinion, in the sequel, the Extremely Goofy movie. It doesn't have Powerline, which in my opinion is one of the biggest parts of the original Goofy movie. So the lack of Powerline, kind of, you feel it, but all the same, definitely another fun romp with Goofy and his son Max. Next, we have Flubber. Flubber is, in my opinion, one of the more unsung Robin Williams movies. Flubber stars Robin Williams, like I just mentioned, as a crazy scientist that invents this crazy substance that has a life of its own. And Flubber was one of those interesting movies that a lot of marketing people thought was going to be a huge box office smash. And I think it was at first, but the reviews weren't great. But it was a movie that I cherished because I remember the first time I saw it, we took my sister for a birthday party, like a bunch of her friends, to go see it, and I think it was the Capitan Theater, and that was a lot of fun, and it just has a special place in my heart. If you like Robin Williams and you like him just being himself, which is he's chewing up all sorts of scenery in this movie, so definitely check out Flubber. Heavyweights. Heavyweights, in my opinion, is sort of like a pseudo prequel to movie Dodgeball. You got early Ben Stiller, you got very early Kenan Thompson, and I'm leaving some out, but those are the two that I remember at first. And it stars Ben Stiller pretty much being an early version of his character that he plays in Dodgeball, but it's like a beta version. And he buys a camp, a sleepaway camp, and basically instills all these super strict dieting and fat camp rules. And it's a great fun movie. It's one of those Goonies types. It's one of those Cool Runnings types. It's a fun movie, and Ben Stiller is at his best in this movie. So next we got James and the Giant Peach. This is one of my personal favorites. A Roald Dahl classic book that was, in my opinion, done extreme justice in this movie. Very Tim Burton, Nightmare Before Christmas-esque. It wasn't made by him, but I think a lot of people think it was. Kazam. Now, I say Kazam because I think we all could use a laugh in this period of time right now. I'm throwing Kazam in one of the piles of so bad it's great films. Kazam, there was a period of time where people thought there was a whole fad called Shaq Attack. And where Shaq had a video game, Shaq had his own action figure line, He had his own brand, he had a clothing line, of course, shoes. And he had a series of movies. People thought he should be in movies. And, you know, he had Steel, he had a few rap albums. But this movie combines them both. We have Shaq playing a rapping genie. And it's as great as it's as great as it sounds. So I don't really have much to say about Kazam. You want to see Shaq being Shaq and rapping about McDonald's and stuff, then definitely check out Kazam. All right, next we got Muppet Treasure Island. This is, in my opinion, one of the least talked about Muppet movies for some reason. Maybe Muppets in Space. But Muppet Treasure Island I love because it is a pirate movie, but install Muppets. You know, as Tim Curry as Long John Silver, for some reason works incredibly well. And, you know, everybody's on point. You know, Kermit, Fozzie, Miss Piggy, everybody's there. And I really suggest checking this movie out. Oliver and Company. Oliver and Company is pretty much the story of Oliver Twist, but with dogs and cats and, you know, pets in general. A lot of great music in this one. A lot of, you know, in my opinion, underutilized characters in the Disney universe. And it's just got really good music by Billy Joel. Billy Joel wrote a lot of music for the soundtrack, and he crushed it. If you want to get a good Disney musical experience, Oliver and Company is definitely the one to pick. Winnie the Pooh's Grand Adventure, The Search for Christopher Robin. It all starts when all Christopher Robin does is he starts school, and Winnie the Pooh doesn't really know how to handle that. Literally, Christopher Robin leaves him a note, pretty much explaining why he's not home to play all the time. And Pooh can't read very well, and neither can the rest of the animals. And some malfunction at the junction there, and a whole adventure ensues from there. So, Winnie the Pooh's Grand Adventure: The Search for Christopher Robin. That's my choice for the Winnie the Pooh movies. Next up, Rescuers Down Under. The original Rescuers is great. It's a great kicking off point, a great launch point, but the Rescuers Down Under is where it really comes to form. Great appearance by John Candy as the seagull bird that acts as their plane service. And the animation is so incredible in this movie. They really amp up the animation quality. The original didn't. I mean, if you really watch the original, the animation is as good as they could make it for at the time. But when you see it, Rescuers Down Under gets up there in the production quality. The writing is great. It's a great adventure. It's a good movie for, you know, people who are nature conscious. You know, really about the earth, because it really has a message about that we should all live together in this ecosystem. So definitely check out The Rescuers Down Under. The Sword and the Stone. The Sword and the Stone, the classic tale of King Arthur. Well, not so classic, because it's a little bit because they don't really talk about him back in the day, like when he was young Arthur. So we have the story of King Arthur before he was king, when the sword was still in the stone, and how he meets Merlin, and Merlin teaches him all this advice and basically gives him the stuff to become a king. And we learn the story of King Arthur. So not much to say about that. I mean, everybody knows the story about King Arthur, but it's a great, fun story. Merlin is incredible in it, and his owl Archimedes is hilarious. So definitely check out Sword in the Stone. Tron Legacy. Woo, love me some Tron Legacy. If there's one movie out of this whole list that you watch, I highly recommend it's Tron Legacy. Love the original Tron, but a lot of these movies that I'm suggesting to you are probably ones you're going to want to watch with your kids. It's Disney. A lot of this is kid heavy. And Tron Legacy is, because the original Tron, as good as it is, the production quality is not nearly as good as, you know, Tron Legacy or any other movie on the platform. It's a little slow at times, a little monotone, so you might lose your young ones. But Tron Legacy is great. It's action nonstop. The music by Daft Punk is incredible in it. I mean, Jeff Bridges. I mean, you can't go wrong with Jeff Bridges in any sense. And Jeff Bridges returning as Flynn, I love it. Love every second of it. Love this movie. Please go see it. I didn't have as many shows as I did movies because, I mean, a lot of the shows on Disney Plus are pretty like known. Disney Channel has pretty strong audience, so there's not a lot on there that I can suggest that I don't think you've seen before. So I have a few that I think more people need to see. Darkwing Duck. Yes, I know. People are like, oh, I know about Darkwing Duck. I don't think a lot of you do. A lot of people know about DuckTales. They know about Tailspin, but not as many. You'd be surprised know about Darkwing Duck. Darkwing Duck is about another duck. There's a lot of duck shows on Disney. A lot. And he's pretty much a bumbling superhero. He's trying to be up there with some upper tier superheroes, and he's one of those superheroes that succeeds in spite of himself, much like Inspector Gadget. So Darkwing Duck is a fun stop in the duck verse, as I call it. With DuckTales, and I'll even include Tailspin, even though they're not ducks. But so definitely check out Darkwing Duck. Mighty Ducks, the animated series. Now, I feel like this one was made in a fever dream. This show is incredible. What if they were mutant hybrid ducks from another planet who saved the Earth, but for some reason, part of their culture is also playing hockey? Yes, that is the show for you, because Mighty Ducks in the animated series is all that and a bag of chips. It is a crazy action story. I mean, a lot of their guns and weapons involve shooting oversized hockey pucks. It had a great toy line. I loved the toy line. I used to get a lot of them at the Disney store. So Mighty Ducks, the animated series. If you want to just watch something that you're like, okay, then that's the one. Recess. If you are watching Recess right now on Disney Plus, what are you even doing? It's one of the greatest cartoons that's ever existed in the annals of time. Remember One Saturday Morning? That whole block of television programming was incredible. But in particular, Recess was the best, in my opinion. Recess had incredible writing, and it featured a lot of dialogue and subject matter that, in my opinion, were a little advanced for kids. In my opinion, there was a lot of talking that would have went over a lot of people's heads. It's a phenomenal animated series, the whole thing front to back. The movies are great too, so check out the movies. They're also on Disney Plus. Gargoyles. Gargoyles is an interesting show. Great premise though. It has a very Batman the Animated Series feel, but it's not that at all. Gargoyles is about pretty much building gargoyles, statues that live on buildings that come alive at night and fight crime. And the writing is incredible. It's a very dark show. It's very brooding. Like I said, very much in the vein of Batman the Animated Series. A lot of people want this show to come back, or even a movie being made about it. And I agree. I think there's limitless potential with this franchise. So definitely check out Gargoyles. And the last show I recommend on Disney Plus, this is just the ones, remember, these are the ones that I think you should check out. The ones that I think need a lot more spotlight shown on them. The last one is X-Men Evolution. Of course, everybody knows the X-Men animated series, the original one. The one that was on Fox Kids, and then now it's on Disney property, so it's on Disney Plus now. But in my opinion, it's a close runner-up. Nothing's gonna touch the original X-Men series, but this one's close. It comes right up to the cusp of it. And X-Men Evolution is pretty much placing the characters of X-Men in almost like a college setting. Like, yes, the Xavier School for the Gifted is always been a school setting, but they really make the characters they really de-age the characters, so to speak, in this, like Nightcrawler, Cyclops, Jean. They're all younger, much, much, much younger in X-Men Evolution. And the only one who's of age is Professor X and Wolverine, because who knows how old Wolverine is. And it's a great series. Too short, in my opinion. It only lasted a few like 3 or 4 seasons. But it's one of those shows that each season is like a few episodes, like a good amount of episodes. So it'll definitely add some time on your watch log. X-Men Evolution, check it out. All right, those are my choices for Disney Plus. I'm running out of things to list. Stay safe, everybody. We'll get through this one Disney Plus show at a time.